Pisces. That's the sound of kombucha. How are you doing? Now I have, I just gave my dogs treats, and so one of them takes forever, my sweet boy. So he's outside having his little mint treat. Lord knows he needs it with that breath. So if he starts acting up, I might have to pause it and go let him in. But, oh, this is so good. It's the blueberry mint. Everyone's having mint treats right now. Maybe something with oral hygiene. Let's see what's going on in your space, in your energy, Pisces. What's going on with Pisces? What do they have to look forward to with this new year? 2025. 2025. Can I get a 2025? It's like an auctioneer. You could be selling stuff, right? You could be purging, cleansing, eliminating, doing some root chakra work. Anytime that we have a blockage in any one of our chakras, it always comes back to the root chakra, right? A blockage is an attachment, and the root chakra is Saturn. It's Capricorn. We got 10 of Wands coming up here, 4 of Pentacles. So you may be starting a new job, ending something, done working for other people. I mean, you could be cleansing your sexual energy, your sacral chakra. You have the sun, which is the heart. Let's see. What's going on? Oh, what's going on? Oh, yeah, it could be the heart because we have the 3 of Swords going through this person's heart right here. Right? Sleepless nights. You could be eliminating something like caffeine, or maybe you're going to be doing like intermittent fasting where you're not going to be eating as much. Like towards the end of the day. Changing something in your routine. Could be drinking, right? Reducing how much you're drinking. This is also, I like this one. I'm not sponsored. I look like I'm dropping ads here, but I really like this one because as over 4 years sober, if I have the other kombuchas that even have the little bit of alcohol in them, if I have those consistently for a few days in a row, I start to feel influenced, right? Not like driving under the influence, but just, but like, I feel emotionally, right? So when you're dealing with the heart chakra, the emotions, could be something in your emotions that you're purifying, you're cleansing. So maybe hydrating more or consuming. I feel like I'm always talking to Pisces about doing like juice cleanses and purifying because you're water, right? And I feel like your blood is very important to keep pure. So there's something like bloodletting, getting the impurities out of your water system, right? But this one's alcohol free, and it's lower sugar too, right? So you could be getting sugar out. Sugar messes with every hormone in your body because it influences insulin, and insulin influences almost every other hormone receptor distribution in your body, right? So it could be like getting your hormones balanced, but I am getting like heart palpitations, anxiety, right? We've got the anxiety here, keeping you up at night, 9 of Swords, right? But there's something that, like this cat's out of the bag, right? It's like releasing this cat. You could have a Scorpio placement or be dealing with a Scorpio, but I always get Scorpio with cats. Could be a fire sign too, because the Queen of Wands is also pictured with black cats. Right, and so we are in a cardinal season right now, which is fire. We're in cardinal Capricorn. Capricorn is a cardinal sign. But see, this person's like overweight. I mean, they're sort of like the red version of the blueberry girl in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? It's like maybe you're eating too much chocolate, right? Chocolate has caffeine in it, right? And so maybe you're moving from like milk chocolate or high milk fat to dark chocolate. Like you could just be making an adjustment to still get the things that you like, because what you like from toxic situations or behaviors or substances, there's something in that toxicity that is beneficial to you, or that would be if you were doing it in a holistic, divine way, right? So like if you're drinking, what you're really wanting is to connect and celebrate and be uninhibited and feel free and laugh and have a good time, but you end up crying yourself to sleep or waking up feeling hungover or making mistakes while you're under the influence. Could be a DUI involved, because I keep getting influence, but there's something that's influencing you, right? This cat, Schrodinger's cat, was in a box, and it's not the cat's fault. It's obviously the human's fault for doing animal testing. But the cat was in this box with radioactive material, right? So if you're decluttering your space, right, like the auctioneer, if you're decluttering your space, you're minimizing the clutter in your life, in your mind, things that you see, things you hear, things you consume. It's like you're sort of simplifying what's going on in this new year. And today is the new moon, so you could be doing like a burn ceremony. If not, I'm always going to throw that out there because I love burning stuff. So if you have things that you can burn, even if it's you write down anything that's holding you back from doing this, fears or attachments or ideas, anything, just write it down and then release it to the ethers. Burn it, transmute it into something beautiful, right? Flames are beautiful. So there's something about using, sorry, I'm down here. There's something about using fire. Fire is a master of transmuting energy. It turns everything. It's a neutralizer. It neutralizes everything to be its like most basic ash form, right? We have the Six of Wands here. So this is something about self-recognition, and getting recognition, getting support, admiration, right, for the work that you're doing. But see how pale these arms are? They're almost the same color as I am. These are like vampires, right? So the only thing to heed the warning of this card of the Six of Wands is just keep your ego tempered. Make sure that what you're doing for recognition is pure, right? Also, this little demon here reminds me of, the closer you get to God, 6 is a number of love. So the closer you get to your divine path, achievements, goals, manifestations, the closer that they come in, if it's divine union, you're going to have others, past people, or new people that are basically the past people. They just are wearing a different skin. It's shapeshifters, right? But in the show Evil, there's a demon. It's a little demon like this that burrows into the side of people. It like gets into their innards. It gets into their gut, and then it makes them lethargic. It makes them, it makes them really, really tired all the time. So you could be dealing with that if you're not sleeping well. Look at what your nightly routine is. Make sure that you're purifying that night routine, because so many people put the emphasis on your morning routine, and yes, your morning routine will set the precedence for your day, but what comes before that? The night routine will set the precedence for your morning, right? So if you're like, man, I'm getting up, I'm going for a run, I'm like, maybe you're in your Capricorn cardinal energy, you're in a very fiery energy where you're like overdoing something. If you're not taking care of yourself, right, you hydrate the day before. If you're thirsty, you're not hydrating right now for right now. You're hydrating for later. So it's, maybe drinking water before bed, maybe drinking water right when you get up. Maybe you drink coffee, or, you know, if you're relying on caffeine to get through the day, or some sort of like stimulant, when your body really is just thirsty. And that's why you feel so tired. That's why you crash, because you're not hydrated, right? So it could be water, something with your water. You guys always need to cater to your water because you are water, right? So nurturing your primary element is how you get in tune with how to wield and nurture and manifest and work from your other elements, your other modalities, your other placements in your chart, right? And mirror the placements of those around you that are doing things that you want to do, right? So that you don't get into a place of envy or comparison. You're just like, that's the energy I'm looking for. Yes, I like what's going on over here. This is a creative space. This is a supportive space, right? So there's something with like, and see how they have these little arms reaching out here? I mean, they're supposed to be like an insect, but they have these arms reaching out. It's like those little demons. Like you've allowed something to get into your core, your body, and it's like, it's, you know, you could be dealing with back pain, you could be dealing with digestive issues. Your sister polar sign, which is Virgo, rules the gut, right? So there's always a lot to do with like gut health, your microbiome, that you'll feel very lethargic if you're not getting the right nutrients, or if you're depleted, deficient, or disrupted in any way in the gut. It will affect your overall immune system, right? And if you're not hydrated, it's going to be harder to flush out whatever this blockage in the heart chakra is. That's how the body influences, the physical body influences the spiritual body, right? Okay, yeah, so we have this 5 of Pentacles to clarify this 9 of Swords. I like the 6s though. Yeah, this 9 of Swords is anxiety, fear, not feeling like you're enough, not having enough. It's like maybe writing down, getting everything, like brain dumping before you go to sleep. Getting all, because look how tired they are. Like they have these bags under their eyes, that little demon's on their shoulder. The cat's like been stuck in this radioactive box for so long that it's dead. You know, it's like there's a need, and there could be some hoarding going on in like severe cases, but this reminds me of also like that show Hoarders, where there's like these women with a bunch of cats, and like they start peeling back layers and they find like dead cats in there and stuff. So maybe you dealt with a Scorpio. It doesn't have to be a Scorpio. It could be a Leo, because, you know, Leo is a cat, right? It could be any sign, but somebody that maybe affected your sexual energy or your sacral chakra, right? Because Scorpio is associated with the sacral chakra, right? So your reproductive organs, which is also, we're all hormones. Everything about us is hormones. Every physiological event that happens in our body is a result of hormones. Hormones. I was going to say hormonal processes. But anyway, but yeah, it's like there's something in your gut. There's something in your center that's messing up. I mean, if you're eating, this person's fat, right? And they're like adrenal fatigue, right? They have that adrenal fatigue body. It's like their arms aren't heavy, their face isn't heavy. They're like, they've got like the turtle body. Turtle. Was it The Spy? Master, something like that. What's that comedy? With Daryl Hannah. I just keep thinking of like Daryl Hannah's the female. Oh my gosh. Anyway, very famous comedian. And it's totally slipping my mind, which, whatever. Maybe I've got adrenal fatigue. But adrenal fatigue is like, it's all the center. It's like a high fat, high sugar diet. You're right. You see like people with a beer belly. They're skinny arms, skinny legs. They might be able to like run and work and live on 4 hours of sleep, but they're not actually healthy. There's something going on in their body that's really toxic and unhealthy that needs to be neutralized, stabilized, evened out, right? And pH levels are important here. Like a balanced diet it's a pH balance. It's not just that pyramid scheme. One of the greatest pyramid schemes of all time is that fucking, this is what you should be eating. No, it's a pH balance, right? So maybe consuming more alkaline foods. Maybe you've got a lot of acidity going on, and it's just like you've got indigestion. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of gut stuff. Well, we have the Five of Pentacles. Pentacles are health and wealth. So this is like poor health. I mean, it could be your bank account, and you know, it could be this feeling of like, am I going to be able to pay my bills at night? But with the heart space here, I feel like it's more health. And we have the Hierophant with the heart, the third, Three of Swords. I was going to say the heart, then the third eye. Well, the fellow sign to the Hierophant is you, the High Priestess. So you could be the masculine. You could be dealing with the Taurus, but the High Priest and the High Priestess work together as leaders, spiritual leaders, and spiritual cornerstones for the community, right? And so there may be something with the third eye. If you've got anxiety, if you've got mucus buildup from a high-fat diet, whether it's vegan or not, high-fat diets create mucus. A lot of sugar, a lot of inflammatory, high acidity creates mucus. And if you've got like allergies or anything up here, congestion, bloating, fatigue, right? Your third eye is not cleared. And if you're not hydrating, and if you're, maybe check your water filters, right? Always check your water filters. Maybe test your water if you're on like city water, or I mean, even well water, but you know, maybe testing your water, just make sure that you are looking at what you're putting into your body and what's influencing your chakras, what's influencing your hormones, what's influencing your gut microbiome. Like there's something about, you've got a little secretive influence here. And it could be something very small. Like I'm mentioning a lot of different things here. But if one chakra is out of balance, they're all out of balance. They will be anyway, right? If one hormone is out of balance, it will create a positive feedback loop, which will influence other hormonal responses and processes. And then it just builds. It's a snowball effect, right? If one thing's out, and so I feel like it could just be something very small, like maybe going from milk chocolate to dark chocolate, or going from caffeinated to decaf, right? Where you're not totally necessarily doing something that's obviously, you know, and if you have the ability, and you know yourself, so I'm not, but if you have the ability to moderate your alcohol consumption or whatever this substance is, then find a way to moderate it, right? Create some sort of routine that, you know, oh, I'm not going to eat or drink after this hour. Intermittent fasting is really helpful for that. And it also gets you to a place where you're clearer. You know, a lot of tarot readers or divination practitioners will divine on an empty stomach, right? So sometimes it's better to work out on an empty stomach, or like when you're going to be doing something active, and it takes a lot of energy to divine. It takes a lot of energy to run, or whatever you're going to work out, or whatever you're doing. Maybe you're, you know, in some cases it's good to have just a banana or something for a little bit of energy. But if you have like a whole meal, especially close to bedtime, it slows down your third eye. It slows down your dream processes, because your body's energy is put elsewhere to focus on digesting that, you know, burger and fries that you had or whatever, which sounds pretty good. So anyway, vegan burger and fries, of course. I'm talking black bean burger. You know, before I was vegan, like growing up, I I never liked beef burgers or meatloaf or anything like that. But now, you know, and everyone was always like, I want a burger. Like that was their, you know, what is that, death row meal or whatever. Everyone was like, their favorite thing was a burger. And I just never got it. But now that I make my own out of like lentils or black beans or oats and walnuts and all those good things, I love it. Like on a pretzel bun. Fuck. Can you tell that I'm divining on an empty stomach? So, but there is something with the Hierophant is someone that uses information. They mediate. They translate information from the 5D to the 3D, right? So it's like if you're having a hard time doing that, if your third eye is blocked, then you can always reverse it and take the information from the 3D and give it to God, right? Give it to source and go, okay, this is what, and how do we do that? We do that through divination. We do that through journaling. We do that through, I mean, we can do it through conversations, but you always run the risk of being influenced by whomever you're sharing that information with. So that's, you know, your circle, and if there are people, you know, maybe going to see a doctor, right? Going to see somebody that has an expertise in the area that you're concerned about, right? Like, when you give it to others and you're asking for help and you're doing it with divine intention, you're always giving it to God, because we are God and we are all little pieces of God and we're all connected, and source information comes from the collective. So, you know, maybe there's something about that, and that can be, if you don't have the ability to moderate, maybe going to like a group or a class or something for sobriety or for support. There's online platforms. There are a lot of resources out there where you can find people that are going through similar things, and you can bounce ideas off of them, and you can essentially get the same thing that you were trying to get. Because if you are someone who drinks heavily or is, you know, abuses any kind of substance or overuses or overindulges, you know that whatever you wanted from it or you craved from that thing, you never get it. You just never get it. You might get it in the very beginning, which is what gets you hooked on it, but you never get it. What you really want is connection, community, conversation, sharing, support. So maybe finding, just switching your perspective, which is you, the Hanged Man, switching your perspective and looking at what you're wanting from the 3D. Vlogging helps, journaling always helps, dream journaling or brain dumping. And you can be like, wow, I actually remember my dreams now, and I'm waking up refreshed because I put all that crap on paper. And so it wasn't just, you know, like, oh, I gotta remember that thing, You know, I grew up with this VHS tape. It was one of my favorite things to watch. It was a Betty Boop, and there were a couple episodes on this Betty Boop tape. And one of them was like, Betty Boop needs an electrician. And it's funny because it's like I think you need to laugh some more. So something with your breath, with the swords being out of whack, needing to breathe. But because there's a song in there where it's like, she's on one of those old workout machines where it's like the belt that goes around and it just like activates your, I don't know, your fat cells or whatever. I don't know if it works, but it was all the rage back in like the 50s or 60s. And so she tells the little boy, like, I need to find an electrician. Go get an electrician. So he's walking down the street. He's like, I gotta find an electrician. I gotta find a electrician. I gotta find a politician. And then he comes back. He's like, Betty, I couldn't find a beautician. You know, like he just, like, because he's thinking about it so much, because so much of his focus is on like, oh yeah, I gotta do that thing tomorrow. I gotta pay that bill tomorrow. I gotta call that person tomorrow. I gotta blah, blah, blah. You're not able to just like just write it down on paper, get it out of your head, because just relying on your memory means that you have something else influencing or interfering with your ability to divine information in the dream world, right? And the dream world is where we do so much of this heart chakra work. It's where we do our third eye. We use our third eye to translate messages from the 5D to the 3D. And that's that third eye that I was getting, right? So There's something in there. And then we have the Six of Swords and the Six of Wands. So I see self-recognition. I see the balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine, and the divine creation. This is the Holy Trinity. This is a salvation, right? This is a balancing with love, the Three of Swords and this Nine of Swords, right? It's a balancing of swords. So Four of Swords would be rest and so I don't think that rest is necessarily your issue. I think that you're probably, maybe you have ample time, or maybe you're oversleeping, like you're tired all the time. Oh damn, my nose is going crazy here. So I think the Four of Swords is not coming out because it's more about like moving with love. So that means having grace for yourself. I mean, you could be attracting a partner that's going to come in and help inspire you, motivate you a little bit. And you could be in a place where you're like, I just don't have any like reason to get out of bed. I don't like my job. I'm not seeing my person. But we have the Five of Wands. I feel like that Five of Wands here, yeah, you're going to have people like vying for your attention. They're going to be trying to get your attention. They like what you're doing. You're very popular. You're getting recognition. Just watch your ego. Make sure that you're keeping your ego pure, your intentions pure. Because then on the other side of this, another six. We got 666. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, but 666 is the number of love, and the devil is actually mocking the Holy Trinity, which is the Holy Trinity, divine masculine, divine feminine, divine creation. The devil mocks the Holy Trinity. So whatever devilish attachment you have that you're connected to, addictions, over anything, overindulgence is overworking, right? Capricorn is the workaholic of the zodiac. So if you have a Capricorn placement, or in this season, you might be dealing with your tendency to distract yourself from what you need to look at and what you need to, and it's not just look at with your two eyes, it's look at with your third eye, because you need to look within. You need to do the feminine work, which is going within. It's healing the heart. It's healing the feelings. So you might be avoiding your feelings, but Six of Cups is like, and again, laughing, right? In that Betty Boop movie, I don't know why I'm thinking of it. Me and my siblings, we used to like laugh about it and quote it and stuff because it's just very quotable. But the song lyrics are, he comes back, he trips the little switch on that thing, and then she's like, and she gets really, really skinny, like so gaunt and skinny, and she was like a noodle. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then they start laughing, and then she gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's like, not that you want to necessarily put on weight. You could be dealing with like an eating disorder or something, and maybe that's, maybe it's the reverse, right? You can be malnourished and be overweight, or you can be, you can be deficient in both ways, right? And if you are overworking, right, you could be like, making sure that like you're maybe really dedicated to the gym work that you're doing, or something with your physical appearance, and it could be into a sort of positive feedback loop, a little bit too much of a toxic cycle. But this is like laughing, playing, right? Playing with your feelings, right? Instead of letting others play with it, right? Because that's how you get here. Play with your own feelings, right? If you're like, laugh at how silly you are, laugh at how ridiculous something is, because it's just life, my friends. It's just life, right? And if we get stuck in our ego and that victim mentality of like, why is this happening to me? And woe is me. This is like, shit happens. Ha ha ha. Like, I spilled my drink, my coffee, all down my white shirt. Ha ha ha. I was late to work. Ha ha ha. It's the end. It's not the end of the world, right? It's like, I feel like, I mean, you guys can get quite anxious about things like that. And if you've got anxiety about this, it's like, get it out of your head. It doesn't serve you there. And maybe not feeling there's like shame associated with this, right? Because this is like, these like homeless people, they're out in the cold. It's kind of like this, and you're really just like in your house, like very hermit mode. could be dealing with a Virgo, but this, or you could have a Virgo placement, but this is that you're getting in your sister polar sign of like things needing to be perfect, instead of just like playing in the chaos, playing with the imperfections that are your life. And I feel like there's some shame associated with maybe whatever you're doing, whether it's your weight, whether it's your skin, whether it's your, because they're so pale, you know, like I'm just getting like the bags under their eyes, right? Maybe they don't want to go out in public because they feel ugly, or like people are going to see the fear on me. They're going to see the fact that I'm broken. They're going to see the fact that I'm not enough. They're going to see. But I feel like there's just sort of like, you know, like and not necessarily like self-deprecating humor, but just a levity with the chaos or with whatever shadows you're playing with, right? See, this person's playing, it's puppets, but this person's playing with the devil, and they're all this pale light, like light work, but they're playing with the devil. And so it's kind of like, I'm with the devil. What's that song? Anyway, Nine of Pentacles is, yeah, this is like pre-Empress. This is independence in your finances, in your health, in your wealth. Like, look, see how like relaxed they are? And they're out in the sun. I mean, you might need to get out in the sun, because the sun is, the heart chakra is the sun and the moon, right? And this person, all these people here are pretty pale. The demons and all that lurk in the darkness, right? They don't like to be seen. So if you let yourself be seen, the shadows and the demons and all of those are going to be like, they don't want the sunlight. Vampires don't like the sun. It kind of burns them, right? So it's like, I think you need to get out in nature and get back to holistic wellness and having grace for yourself, right? 9 is the number of self. It also looks like a fish, right? So there's 6 and 9. 6 and 9. And then the King of Cups. Now this could be you as the masculine, or you could be dealing with another, another water sign. But the King of Cups is somebody who is diplomatic with their emotions, right? They're not emotionally erratic or reactive. This person's very grounded in their emotions. And so being a king of water, water being a feminine element, this is someone who's balanced in their masculine and their feminine, right? And so they've gotten to a place where they're not overindulging or underindulging. They're not depriving themselves or gorging themselves, right? Yeah, it's time to, we got the 5 of Pentacles again. It's time to come out of this 10 of Swords. See, there's that cat in the box. Maybe your name is Jack, because my dog out there is named Jack. But Jack in the box. But there's like this, it's time for you to like pop out and just like be a clown. You guys are very silly and charismatic and fun if you let yourselves be. Strength, Leo, Judgment. Like Judgment Day is coming. It's time. Whatever you've been bearing the weight of, the burdens of, it's time to let it go. It's not serving you. It's not serving your health. It's definitely, if your health is not served, your wealth isn't going to be served. That's how Pentacles represent each other, right? You look at poor people in movies, or homeless people, and they're typically of worse health, right? That's at least how they're perceived, depending on what you believe about the medical industry and all of that. But when you feel impoverished, when you feel like a victim, it affects your mind, your heart, your body, your spirit. You're just, if one is blocked, they're all blocked, right? So it's time to just let it rip, bust out of the box, and just like be yourself to the max. Speak your truth, laugh with the devil, you know. And if you own the things that you consider wrong with you, right? If you're like, oh, I've got these things that I'm ashamed of. If you own them as just being like, yeah, I do drink too much, so I'm just not going to do that anymore. But we usually don't get a hold of it because we're hiding it, right? So it's like this elusive, taboo thing that we do that no one really knows about. So it's like, I feel like you need to reach out for some support and reach out for a space where you can, and if you don't feel like you can be honest with the people that you're around, right? Because I was getting that before, then you need to, Ten of Swords, you need to get out of that place, right? We're taking ourselves out of here. You could be rescuing yourself and saying, no, I'm worthy of a place where I feel supported, where I, if you are hanging out with people and you're trying to quit drinking or smoking or partying or, casual dating or whatever it is that's not fulfilling you, or overeating, but all your friends are like, you guys want to go to the restaurant? Want to go out to eat? Want to go to the bar? Whatever. If that's the cycle that they're in, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad or they're wrong. They're just not right for you. They're just not good for you. They're just not aligned with where you're going. So speak your truth. And if those who are willing to support you they'll be fine with you taking time to yourself, or they'll be like, you know what? I've been thinking about it too. Let's do it together. You might find by speaking your truth in your current circle of people that there are other people who were looking for you to lead the way. And maybe not you, but somebody. And you just happen to be the one that was like, enough is enough. I'm done with this space. I'm done with this routine. It's so last year. And then we're going into the new year. So you're like, it's so 2024, baby. And so this is you like, see, they're playing in the mouth of the lion, right? And they're not afraid. There's strength in that. Where you can be honest. And you don't necessarily have to be like, ha ha ha, I'm a loser, I'm an alcoholic. Isn't that funny? That's just, Hierophant. More Taurus energy. You could be just, that's the throat chakra, is speaking your truth, right? Comedy is truth, right? It's divine. It's the diaphragm, it's prana, it's breath. Laughter is divine. So just finding, and usually the funniest things are like not when you're trying to be funny, not when you're like doing a shtick. It's just you're being honest. People are funny because humanity is humorous, right? Just being divine beings, being little children of God is humorous, because we're all just like, we don't know what the hell's going on. Nine of Swords again. Well, I'm going to end it there because I'm getting a lot of repeats. There's that 10 of Wands, ending an old cycle, ending the overwork, ending the burdens, ending like carrying the torch for other people when we had that 5 of Wands, right? Ending the chaos, ending the fighting. Like, it's just a fight. Whatever you're doing, it's like you're only fighting yourself, really. And so if you can't be your authentic self, and you can't seem to find the community or the support or the unconditional love of those 666, right? 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands, that self-recognition, that self-rescue, that confidence, right? And then that's love, self-love. It's playing with your Holy Trinity. It's playing with me, myself, and I. And if that's the only community or support that you can find right now, trust me, it may be hard at first, or because of the ideas of being alone or single or whatever, but there's nothing worse than feeling misunderstood, feeling alone in a group of people. So at least if you're going to feel alone, you might as well be physically alone, because so much of the beauty of the shadow work and the healing process really happens in that space. And if you're worried about what others will think, those who don't support your need to work on yourself they're not your friends. They're not your people, because that's codependent. That's, that's tit for tat. That's a transactional thing. There's something they want from you, and that's those little vampire hands, right? When you're up there recognizing yourself and committing acts of self-love, right? If they are offended by that, what does that say about them? It's all about them anyway, right? And the people who care about you, they'll either, and they may support you and not be ready to get on that journey with you, but they will, if they love you unconditionally, they'll let you do your thing. They're not going to be, trying to draw you back into the same old crap. Because they want it, they just don't have the gumption or the power. They don't feel empowered enough in whatever space they're currently in to take that leap of faith towards themselves, towards their truth. But I think that you're going to be surprised in those who do want to follow, and those who are like, oh, you know what, I've been thinking about this for a while. I've just, it's a lot of times we're like, oh, it's just better to be in a group. It's better to be part of something than do it alone. And so maybe they just didn't, you might be someone else's courage or somebody else's muse or inspiration or influence. And maybe you're going to be doing something where you're like influencing online. But again, check your ego. Make sure that you're doing it out of pure intentions, and that you're always doing it from your truth, your throat chakra. You're doing it from the Hierophant, right? Don't get all like, oh, I'm influencing so many people. People are fighting over me, and oh my gosh, they all want something from me. And then just let that become the addiction that consumes you, and that you allow to feed off of your power. Keep your power true. Keep your power strong. Anyway, hopefully there was something in here for you. Until next time, I wish you well.